G'day Rugby League fans, and welcome along to the Mad Monday podcast live from the Export Beer Garden studio, and all thanks to the legends at 4 and 20 Pies. My name is Keezy, well, it's Chris Key, otherwise known as Jeremy Marshall Keezy. Joining me on the podcast today from beautiful Kati. It is Ben Hurley, otherwise known as Des Hursley. Ben, how are you going this week? You all right, mate?
Well, look, I'm going to start with a very provocative question for you.
What's that?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So the Warriors are fourth on the table.
Yes.
The Warriors won 2 games in a row.
Yes.
There are only 2 weeks left in the regular season. We are guaranteed of a final spot.
Yes.
Right? Why does this not feel like 2 years ago?
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. Maybe because, well, to be honest, it's starting to feel a bit more like 2 years ago when I was watching on Friday night and the Wires did get the win. Was it Saturday night got the win over the Titans 32-18? Because the win that we got last week was not a convincing win whatsoever. In fact, I've spent the whole time sitting next to the couch with my hands over my eyes watching it because I was like, this is not enjoyable to watch. At least the win over the Titans, aside from the last 10 minutes where they scored a couple of tries and things, I felt like we played a lot better and we were firming a wee bit, Ben. I was steamed though, and I was at my house, so I had to go back over the tapes. But do you not feel the same way after watching that Titans win?
Yeah, no, look, we all have to get steamed to endure an evening with Mania, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, yes, I feel exactly that way. Yes. The Dragons, as we saw this week, are dog shit.
They are dog shit.
And we only just scrape by them. However, that first half, the Warriors put on against the Titans this week, our bogey side, might I remind you, away from home, was a pretty good performance and did remind me of earlier in the season where we were stringing together some very convincing wins.
Yes.
However, I just don't see a lot of confidence going into the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And I know, did we lose 3 in a row? Was it 3?
Yeah, it was 3 in a row, yep.
Yeah, we lost 3 in a row. And look, we've all got trauma. We've all got, many, many years of Warriors trauma that think, right, this is the end. And actually, there's a precedent for this because you look at the Dolphins, both years that they've been in the competition, they have started with a hiss and a roar and just faded, and they've done it again.
Yeah, they have actually.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this season is that the Wires are top 4, which is the best finals, sort of the best finish of the regular season in terms of where we sat on the ladder in a long, long time. And it's probably the least. I haven't heard a single person say, "Oh, book your tickets to the grand final." That is something that everyone says all the time, usually, and I have not heard a single person say it. Even though, when you look at it on paper, this is the year to maybe start looking at booking tickets to the grand final. No one's saying it. Is everyone scared to jinx it, or are they just not? There isn't that belief at the moment, is there?
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe that we realize this is a genuine possibility now, or maybe we just got our heart broken two years ago by the Broncos. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not playing. I think I've thought about this a lot over the last 48 hours. And I think it's because right now the Warriors don't have a style of football that we play.
No, they're just sort of playing footy and tackling and that. Yeah, there is no. Yeah, you're dead right.
Yeah. So there's for you to love something, right? To love someone, you've got to have something to hold on to. And I don't mean that literally. But you've got to love something about them, right?
Yeah,
it can't just be vibe.
Yeah. So
right. You've got to love them, their soul. You've got to love that you have things in common.
Yeah.
You've got to love them physically.
Yeah, like them looking hot and like, yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, so what is it that we actually love about the Warriors other than we are just Warriors fans by default? Like, what do we love about them at the moment?
I know what you mean, because they're doing the stuff we need them to do, right? And I'm talking about the rugby team. They're doing the stuff we need them to do. They are performing adequately. They are in the top 4. You look at it on paper and you go, yes, this is great. However, you're right. You can't look at their style. Like, you look at Melbourne's style of footy and it's like the hottest, most amazing person you've ever seen in your life, and you go, that is an attractive style of footy. And if I was a Melbourne fan, I'd be barred up to watch them every week. Yeah. We don't have that. We seem to be sort of just get into the 20, put pressure on, put a kick, or just do something, but nothing really happens. However, this way, like after watching the highlights again this morning, once again, Mania came to my house Saturday night, so I had to get drunk to tolerate him. I watched the highlights again this morning, and some of the tries we scored, including RTS's two early doors, were, you know, Tanner Boyd getting the ball, running deep into the line, passing it over to Snell Harris-Tavita, really nice quick hand, like slick backline moves, skip passes. The kicking wasn't amazing, but it was definitely the best I've seen from Tanner Boyd and Snell Harris-Tavita, that pairing. And there was even a moment where Dylan Waitini-Zelezniak almost got the ball at pace and almost dived in the corner and scored it one-handed. He dropped it, but that was the first time I'd seen that slick right side all year. And it was just like showing a flash of 2023 and being like, oh, maybe we can. Maybe it will be this Friday against the Eels, but maybe we are starting to slowly turn things around, Ben. Maybe, or maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe, yes. Maybe it was one half of old school Warriors football that we know and love, and we know why we love it. Because we're not like a super gritty team, you know, that grind. Well, we are actually.
We were, yeah.
We yeah. That is so against the regular characteristic of a Warrior. Warriors, right? So I'm fine. I think that's it. That's my explanation as to why there is a little bit of pessimism. There's a little less kind of fanaticism about this year.
Yeah.
Even though they are grinding out good wins and are currently sitting fourth on the table. And that was the other thing I was going to say. I think we lost a bit of faith when we lost all those players. Right?
100%, yeah.
We've lost key players. We've lost one of our captains. We've lost our playmaker. You know, we keep losing players. Yes, some have come back, so that I think that really helps.
Yeah.
To get Rocco Berry back was, I think, really good, although I think he left the field injured once again.
Yeah, there's no news has come out about his injury. It looked bloody terrible, and it was a shoulder again. So I wouldn't be surprised. As is ACC tradition, we're recording this podcast like a few hours before the team list comes out tonight. So no doubt if you're listening to this right now, you can go to the team list and have a look. But he could be out. Also, the other one too was losing Jackson Ford last week too to that suspension. Like he played 70 minutes in the middle for us. Sure, he was just munting around in the middle and, you know, just sort of doing his best job to plug the gap of Mitch Barnett. But we have just had one injury or suspension after the other. So Ben, just so I can wrap up your point nicely and just put a bow on it for the listeners, you're saying that the Warriors right now, on paper, are a perfect match for us.
Yes.
You were using it as like a metaphor, as like them being your partner. You were saying they do everything and they are doing everything that you want them to do. However, when you look at them, it's not a style you're enjoying. It's not pleasing you to look at. So what you're after is some sort of scenario where in the last two games of the round of the season, maybe they show up with like plastic surgery, or maybe that, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's a couple of fake boobs or something. You know, is that what you want? You want this team that is doing all those things to just show up with a bit more something more exciting to look at. Is that what you want?
Yeah, I think it is. I need something to hang my head on. I need I need something for me to go, that's why I love this team.
That's right, yeah.
Because in previous years, it's been they play this absolutely, beautiful style of football. They can score for anywhere on the park.
Yeah.
They're exciting. Currently, they're not exciting.
No,
but they are doing the job. So that's why it's tough.
That is so interesting. We just need to put some sriracha, like it's yum, but it needs some sriracha hot sauce on there because I need it to just be like really, you did right. Just quickly, we'll go over the game. Just a few things I noticed. How were you feeling 10 seconds into the game where our biggest dude got flattened by their biggest dude? Tino Fa'asua Manaiawi absolutely put the shoulder in on James Fisher-Harris, who then got up, played the ball incorrectly. It was a handover, and then Tino scored a try like 3 minutes later. That is the all-time biggest dick shrinker of a way to start a game of footy.
Yeah, although that was an illegal tackle.
Oh, 100%. It was all shoulder, but because it was so scucky, they were just like, no, we're going to leave it. Yeah,
pretty much, yeah. As Mania has pointed out many times, rugby league is reffed on vibe.
It is.
And the vibe of that was just too good. The theatre of it was too good. But, yeah, there's no way that was a legal tackle. And I did feel for Fish because he had some rough calls against him. In the end, he pulled his captain's challenge, and it actually
It paid off.
Came off for him. Yeah.
But full credit to the Wires too for starting a game like that, and they spent a shitload of time down in our 20 to begin the game, and we just held out, and eventually started scoring points. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck once again looked phenomenal. He is back in what he's done in the last month and a half is absolutely incredible. He's running all between 250 and 300 meters a game. He's scoring tries. He's breaking tackles. He's so solid defensively. Like right now, he'd be in the conversation for, based on current form, one of the best wingers in the NRL, in my opinion. What do you think?
So that's a really good point too. So 2 years ago, Chance Nickel-Klukstad was the best fullback in the competition, right?
Wow, Teddy, Pappenhausen, I don't know. Yeah, for the Wires.
I think Pappenhausen was
he was out.
He was out. But yeah, okay, Teddy. But he was the most lion-hearted fullback.
Yeah, he was gutsy, right? Yeah.
And SJ was up for Dally M, he was leading Dally M points table right until the end.
Yeah.
So I guess we don't have any of that. I think Aaron Clark's probably in the conversation for lock of the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the board. But that's kind of it, right? There's no standouts. But yeah, I guess RTS would definitely be.
I think just at the moment he just looks phenomenal. The one we're missing is if Metcalf didn't get injured, he probably would have been.
He would have, yeah,
been up in there or thereabouts with the Dally M's. So RTS getting a double. Also, he put so much pressure on Chanel Harris-Tavita's kick. He jumped up, put off, I think it was Jalen de Groot, had to tap the ball back, which then led to Adam Pompey finally scoring after about 40 minutes of no scoring. It was great to see Rocco Berry back, chasing hard whenever we put up bombs. If you've got a guy like Tanner Boyd who's kicking and, putting up these bombs, you need to have the thing in 2023 that was awesome was when they'd catch the ball, look up, and there'd be three wires there, always Rocco Berry. So hopefully he's okay, and it was nice to see him back. Also, I mentioned it earlier, but I think it was the best sort of game I'd seen of the current pairing of Tanner Boyd and Chanel Harris-Tavita. Not perfect, but I thought they looked a lot better, and the back line looked a lot slicker than it has done in past weeks.
Yeah, I guess that's probably our first choice backline at the moment, right?
I think so, yeah. So that was bloody good. Also, a big shout out to Dallin Watene-Zelezniak for not letting a try in until the 75th minute. I was like, because in our group chat, full disclosure, in our Mad Monday group chat with Di and Minaya and Ben and myself and a few others, we were loading up on Phil Sami to score 2 tries, 3 tries, opening 3 tries, all of them Phil Sami. And he almost did, but he didn't end up scoring. So Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, that right side, big shout out to them for not letting as many tries in as I thought. Ben, anything else you want to say on the game, mate, before we move on?
No, it was a bit of a shame that we did fade in the end and let in some soft tries, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's probably the only downside because, we won away and we won against a team that weirdly has the wood over us in recent times.
Yeah, which is weird.
We're now sitting in 4th by ourselves, so we should be jumping up and down, really.
We should be, all right, Wires fans. Yeah. We should, hopefully, after a convincing win over... That's what it will take. Imagine a great convincing win over the Eels, who did just beat the Roosters, and we'll get into them shortly. That is what it will take to get us barred up and saying we're going to book grand final tickets, right? We just need to see something, just a flamboyant display of excellence is what I want to see this Friday.
That'd be great.
Would be great. Now, Webmaster Joe, who's producing our potty at the moment, he's got some lovely audio, and he's requested that I throw to it before we discuss the Eels, who we are playing this Friday. I haven't heard this audio. I'm very worried about it, but here it is, Webmaster Joe's audio.
Oh, g'day Chris, Key and Ben Hurley. Hope you're going well. It's Izaak Selesele here, a.k.a. the Fighting Pride of Samoa, a.k.a. the last standing prince of Parramatta. Just dropping in to come give you some absolute knowledge of what's going to go down on Friday. Mount Smart Stadium. The boys in blue are in town, and I'm not talking about the Popo. I'm talking about Mitchell Moses and the Parramatta Eels. And after last week's win against the Roosters and an absolutely shocking display from the Warriors against the Titans, we all know how this is going to go. And I'm predicting absolute belt to ass, a Mitchell Moses masterclass. And if you're lucky, I might even just tell Josh Adokar, hey mate, just score only 3 tries this weekend on Dallin's wing. I'll tell you what, you heard it here first. You guys bring out Savage to sing your victory song. If we get up, when we get up, 50 plus on Friday. I'm bringing out Chris Martin myself to sing this banger. Paradise, up the Eels, baby!
Oh my God. For those that aren't aware, Izaak Selesele, member of the Mad Monday crew, biggest Eels punisher in the world. This is why he's a huge punisher, right? Because the Eels cannot get into the finals. They are out. They are done for the year. Izaak didn't get into the finals of our fantasy NRL SuperCoach League as well. He's done for the year. And yet he's putting together a compilation with Coldplay and taunting us ahead of a Friday game. How did that make you feel, Ben?
Oh, look, I love the passion. You know, there's actually nothing quite like an Eels fan, because you have to be, right? Because they haven't won a premiership since the early 60s, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, that's probably older than Isaac's dad. Like, that's probably before he was born.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
So you've got to have a special brand of passion to really stick as an Eels fan.
Yeah. And I mean,
but look, I wanted to make a point about the Eels, because there's two teams this year that I cannot get a read on whether they're good or terrible.
And it's the Warriors and
one's the Eels and the other one's the Sharks. Because I keep looking at the table, and we dusted the Sharks up when we played them.
We did dust the Sharks up, yeah.
And I look at the table, they're in sixth. How the hell did that happen?
Yeah, and you know what else is weird? Because I was looking up the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I was like, are they bad? They're another one. I was like, are they bad or are they good? And I was going back through their recent results, and they played the Sharks a few weeks back, 3 weeks ago, and the Dragons beat the Sharks 22-14. And so it's so confusing. I don't know who's good and who's bad, and I am worried about this game against the Eels. Because did you watch that Saturday night late game, the Roosters taking on the Eels?
I did, yeah.
That like, obviously in the first 10 minutes, Sam Walker got injured, and Sam Walker has been the spark for the Roosters. He's come back, they've run their entire offense through him. He gets injured within 10 minutes. Of course, their playbook gets thrown out the window. But Mitch Moses was putting on a clinic. Zach Lomax looked better than he's looked in bloody ages. And if it wasn't for the freakishness of, Mark and Wanganita-Waze, the Roosters wouldn't have scored any points. So I am quite worried about what the Eels could do this Friday. Although when I see Izaak out in the office in 5 minutes' time, I'm going to say I'm not effing worried at all. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't admit any defeat there.
No.
So, I don't know. I mean, obviously they are low down the table, and they win. Well, their win percentage goes up massively when Mitch Moses is there, and he was out for most of the season, so that basically was the end of them.
Yeah.
Kind of like we used to be with SJ.
Yeah.
Like when SJ got injured, inevitably in round 6, we lost the however many games it was that he was out. So they're a one-player team, and unfortunately for us, that player's playing, and he's pretty good.
Well, and he is good, and I do really like Mitch Moses. He's such a great half, and he's just great to watch. And I do admire what the Eels have done, because what they've done is gone, we've actually got all these real great forwards. Like we've got Ryan Madison, we've got Sean Lane, we've all these real big names who are really good, and the new coach came in and just dropped all of them and said, Bryce Cartwright, the Cardi Party, who was playing mean last year, he just basically said, we don't want any of these guys. We're dropping you. They're the wrong attitude type or whatever it is. He spent the entire season developing all these young players. Got rid of Dylan Brown, who's leaving at the end of the season, is playing centre for them, like a new guy in the halves there, even though he's still there. And based on what I saw on Saturday night, it has worked, and these young guys are really starting to come to fruition. You know what I mean? So I'm not... Yeah. I still think the Wars should still beat the Eels 13+. They should pants the Eels. That is what should happen. And it's what I need them to do. However, I think in order for that to happen, we're going to have to really try and limit Mitch Moses. We're going to have to keep tabs on the Fox. I forgot he was marking DWZ, and vice versa. So I'm going to put money on him to score a double.
He's still got pace. We saw that last week.
Admit it. Was it good? I loved seeing the Fox get a 90-meter try and then do the dance afterwards. It's been so long.
So good, eh?
I loved it. Of course, it's the Dylan Walker revenge game, because he left us halfway through, went to the Eels, and he actually set up a great try for them as well. But as I say, it should be a 13+ pantsing, and Izaak will probably be at the game. He's Big Islander fella with a mullet, and last time they were in town, he was in the audience in an Eels jersey at Mount Smart, pulling the fingers at everyone and racking everyone up. So I look forward to seeing him do that again. Anything else you want to say about the Eels before we take a short break, Ben?
Not really, no. Other than mercurial. They're like how people talk about the French rugby team.
Yes, right, mercurial.
Yeah, they'll pull out something out of nothing, but only about every 6 games.
Yeah, so you just don't want to be one of those teams facing them when they happen. And then we're taking on the Sea Eagles, which once again, I don't know if they're shit or they're good. But then that'll be the regular season done and dusted. All right, time to take a quick break here on Mad Monday. When we return, I will discuss the miracle in Mudgee. The Raiders win over the Panthers. Also, we will place our TAB hunch and a little SuperCoach chat as well. Welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast, live from the Export Beer Garden studio, of course, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies. You've got Chris Key, Ben Hurley here. Ben Hurley, did you witness the miracle in Mudgee, the Raiders getting the W over the Panthers Friday night?
Even if you hadn't witnessed it live or you were watching that particular game, if you're on social media, you have been fed the end of that game because it is probably the most clippable and shareable end to a rugby league game I've ever seen, with good reason. Unbelievable. It
was unbelievable, and I really, usually in that situation, I'd feel sorry for whoever the team was that lost. I don't give a shit because it was the Panthers. But Ethan Strange, he's 14. You know what I mean? He's come out of nowhere, and the Raiders, and Ricky Stewart's just, he finds a way to just get so much out of these guys. And you think of all the best halves in the comp, the best 5'8" and stuff, and you think of, Munster and Jaden Campbell and guys like that. You don't think of Ethan Strange, but now I do. He's a freak.
Oh, look, I think the Raiders are kind of everybody's other team.
Yeah, I want them to do well.
They say that about the Warriors in Australia, don't they? They say that you have your team and then the Warriors are your second team. But there's just something so lovable about the Raiders, and Sticky seems to be. He's kind of turned a corner, with his public image, because he used to be just the angriest man on earth. And now he just looks like he's going to weep every time.
Yeah.
Weep with joy every time the Raiders score.
Well, that was lovely to see him genuinely cheering, cutting to him after they scored that amazing try. It was such a nice thing to witness. Interesting thing, though, was obviously Nathan Cleary kicked it, hit the post, bounced off the ground, and then I can't remember who, it might have been the winger for the Raiders. Maybe it's Ricky's son, actually, jumped up to catch the ball. And the Panthers guy, I think Liam Martin and another guy there could have absolutely flattened him, but they pulled out because he was in the air. But because it wasn't a kick and the ball had bounced, they are within their rights to tackle him. It's only if you're taking a high ball. Once it's bounced once, if you jump for it, you can still get tackled in the air. So, unfortunately, Liam Martin, and that was just a split-second thing they had to just do. And obviously, they've trained so much to not take people out in the air. If they had just tackled him, they would have won they would have, continued. So that was quite an interesting little tidbit there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just nice where was it last week that Nathan Cleary hits the 2-point field goal?
Oh, that's right.
In the game.
And Harry Grant got all in there. And
yeah. Well, obviously, yeah. I mean, yeah. I've got no problem with the Raiders. With the Panthers either. But I think we've all enjoyed their little surge through the competition ranks.
Yeah, it's been great.
And it's just another wonderful little storyline as part of this year's NRL season. But now it's those close losses are really starting to hurt.
Yeah, which is great because I was worried they were just going to go on an 8-0 run heading into the finals and just be red hot. So it's good to see. It does, however, mean we are likely going to come up against the Panthers at some point during the first couple of weeks of the finals. But who cares? We can beat them. They've lost 2 in a row now, so that's good. The next thing we have to do, Ben Hurley, is the TAB hunch. Now, this is where we get a $100 bonus bet and we place it on the Warriors' upcoming game. And then, what is it? A winner gets the money, or once it hits a certain amount, we give the money out to the winners. Is that right, Joe?
Once the pot reaches $1,000, yeah, we give away $100.
We give away the cash, which is exciting. Ben Hurley, how do you feel about the New Zealand Warriors? This is paying $81. So, some absolute space cadet over at the ACC's put this one on. The New Zealand Warriors will score between 30 and 38 points and win. How do you feel about that?
Between 30 and 38 points. And it doesn't matter what the Eels score. It's not a margin thing.
No, they just have to win, and yeah.
Oh, they have to win? Okay, well.
No. It's the Warriors need to win 30-16. I've picked the exact score.
Oh, the exact score.
No, it's 38-30.
That's within the bracket, so that was the betting option.
Oh.
Yes, yeah. But the correct score that I picked is Warriors to win 30-16.
Are you just taking the piss, Joe? What the fuck? What is this?
I'm
really?
swinging for the fences.
What?
Lane's away this week. I'm taking charge and I'm swinging for the fences.
Because I would have said Ed O'Carter scored 2 or more tries. That's what I would have chosen.
Well, he can do that. But the teams aren't out yet, so we have to lay it on.
Yeah. Another reason. The old team list thing. So, Ben Hurley, the chances of the Warriors winning exactly 30 points to 16, what do you think?
Well, apparently the odds for Dallin Watene-Zelezniak to complete an official tackle in the NRL are also at 81-1.
Yeah, see, I want to stay away from that. That's fool's gold. It seems like a good deal, but it's not when you look closely at it. Well, there's your TAB hunch. If that comes in, $8,000 is the return, and we'll just dish that out to everyone. I'd say start planning what you're going to spend it on now, because that's definitely going to come in. One last thing too, Ben Hurley, before we wrap up, SuperCoach chat. I'm through to the finals of our Mad Monday SuperCoach head-to-head league. It is me and another bloke, and I have one trade left. Now, Ben Hurley, if you could bring in any player, I've got one trade, I've got money, so I can bring in almost anyone. Who would it be at this point in the season? If just someone you've noticed recently has been red hot and you definitely need, and I need to bring in.
Have you got Scott Drinkwater?
I've got Drinkwater. Been drinking water all season.
Yeah. Have you got Harry Grant?
No, but he's been banned for 2 games.
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
I've got Jeremy Marshall-Keezy.
Did he get banned for milking a penalty?
Nah, he did a no-arm shot to the head of one of the Bulldogs.
Oh, game's gone soft. I don't know. Here's my problem with SuperCoach is I pick a team that I think would win. I don't pick a team that necessarily gets a lot of SuperCoach points.
Yeah, right. So you're picking like a solid team that could run out there on the actual footy field together.
I pick it like an Origin selector does. It's like an all-star team.
Right.
But SuperCoach doesn't work like that.
No, you need guys on shit teams that rack up heaps of scores but lose all the time.
Have you got Eden Whanua-Keezy? You do.
Nah, he sucks this year.
He sucks this year.
Well, look, this is for anyone listening. My theory this weekend is I'm going to do what I did last weekend. Is I vice captain Tom Turbo. He scored 180 SuperCoach points or something like that. It was ridiculous. This weekend they're playing Saturday afternoon at like 4 o'clock against the Dragons, who suck. I think target Manly and just go all in on them, even though they've been garbage. Captain Tom Turbo, maybe bring in like a Lehi Hopoate or someone like that. Even a DC.
Yeah, okay. Lehi Hopoate, yeah. I had some success with him earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a bad call.
Yeah, and Tom's backfiring again, and Manly's got the finals to play for now, a few upsets. So that's what I'm going to do. Right, well, thank you so much, Ben Hurley, for your SuperCoach wisdom and also for having a chat to us today on Mad Monday. Quick score prediction for you for Eels v Wars?
I think we're going to grind out another gritty one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be 18-14.
Yeah, we're going to come away not satisfied. I'm going to say a very similar situation, but like 24 to 18 or something.
30-16.
Or 30-16, and everyone gets some cash, which would be nice.
Joe.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mad Monday podcast. We will be back again next week. From myself and Ben Hurley, we'll see you later.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.